The characteristics that defined the Lost Generation writers were sophistication, an autobiographical style, and a nagging sense of discontent. The author who sparked this new era of writing was F. Scott Fitzgerald.
America's great age of literature in the 2 decades between the world wars embraced the wild times of the Roaring Twenties and the despairing misery of the Great Depression. It was a time when American authors poured out their souls onto paper. They were the voices of what Gertrude Stein christened the Lost Generation. It was at the hands of this lost generation that the great American novel came into being. One writer's books and short stories captured the growl and glitter of that era's first decade, known as the Jazz Age. While popular, his literary masterpieces went unrecognized in his own lifetime. It would be later generations who realized he was one of the 20th century's greatest authors. He was F. Scott Fitzgerald. Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald was born in St. Paul, Minnesota on September 24, 1896. Another of the great authors who came out of America's heartland, he attended Princeton University, where he made a minor reputation writing musical comedies. In 1917, he left Princeton and his writing turned more serious. He said of his style, "I really want to preach at people in some acceptable form rather than entertain them." As a result, his novels peered inward, not only chronicling the moral decline of the United States, but also exploring deeper themes of the country's moral emptiness. His first novel, This Side of Paradise, written in 1920, not only anticipated the Roaring Twenties pleasure-seeking generation, but also gained Fitzgerald fame, fortune, and popularity. Following the book's success, Fitzgerald married Zelda Sayre in 1920, and the two soon became a fixture among New York's elite. Among the very society Fitzgerald's books so pointedly rebuked, it was The Great Gatsby, written in 1925, that was Fitzgerald's finest work. Fast-paced and with keen insight, Fitzgerald explored the life of a wealthy bootlegger, Jay Gatsby, using him to show how the wealthy class's materialism had corrupted the American dream.
For Gatsby turned out all right in the end. It was what preyed on him, what foul dust floated in the wake of his dreams.
Fitzgerald's popularity declined with the onset of the Depression. Out-of-work Americans were no longer interested in stories of the lavish lifestyle of the Roaring Twenties. Forced to work in Hollywood, Fitzgerald drank heavily. Like other members of the Lost Generation, Fitzgerald's life embodied tragedy. The emptiness of his lifestyle and his own personal torments came to life in his novels and short stories. In the late 30s, Fitzgerald's hard living caught up with him. He declined rapidly and died on December 21st, 1940.
In our next episode, we shall see how the Lost Generation created the golden age of American literature. Thanks for watching episode 4 of the Great American Authors series. I'm Jane Kaczmarek.